If Rebecca Black isn't a great way to start Friday, I don't know what is. Happy Friday, everybody. It's 8:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We have a few updates today. I hope you all have had a great week, and we're venturing closer and closer and closer to what for most is a 2-week break. So exciting times. We have a few things to share. Heidi, happy Friday. Good to see you. As always, our purpose is to create a space for all audiences to hear updates at the same time. So same goals, same vision, and communication across our work. As you all know, this is a space for us to hear some updates, have some informal question and answer, and just kind of get together for a quick update. So here we go. We have 4 things on the agenda. We have a new upcoming events document that summarizes all the things that we have upcoming early in 2024. So we'll put that in front of you and give you a chance to read it and ask any questions if there are any. There was a change to the events site. Many of you have probably felt that. We've had a few questions on the structure of the event site, so I'll just very quickly go through that. As all of you probably know, through communication by MDE, 23H was released yesterday. We have a short update on that. Really, I'll just share the link and answer any questions that you have. Since it was released yesterday, we haven't had a ton of time to unpack it, though I'm sure today will be a lot of that. But we can open a space just to ask any questions or put some ideas out. And then the 4th thing will be any other questions that you all might have that would be helpful to talk about. So that's our plan. Here is the upcoming events flyer. So it's a 2-page document. We have a digital link. I think Heather can probably help us by placing that in chat so that you all can open it. You could also look at the screen. Thanks, Heather. On the document, you'll notice quite a few things. So I think what we'll do is I'll just pause for a minute and give you all a chance to peruse the items that are on there that are upcoming early in 2024. It's quite a list. And then I'll look at chat and see if there are any questions that anybody on the update has that I can speak to. We also have flyers for a lot of these, and Heather has access to them. So if we talk about one, Heather will probably pop it in chat. So take a minute to peruse, and I'll watch the chat and see if anybody has any clarifying questions on any one of these items. I'll keep an eye on chat. I'll speak to a couple items. You'll notice at the top of page 1 and at the bottom of page 1, there's an organizational practices opportunity. There's one on January 30 and there's one on February 29. Each of these are in Wayne County. As you all know, there's a lot of people in Wayne County. So we wanted to provide a opportunity for leaders in the Detroit area to access some organizational practices. Each of those days are going to be an exact repeat. So if you're interested in joining one of those organizational practices events, know that you would only need to attend one. They are going to be an exact repeat. We are going to offer a virtual opportunity on the one that is February 29. So if you're anywhere in the state and are thinking Detroit's a little too far to travel to, know that on the February 29th date, we'll have an opportunity to live stream the morning portion. We will use a similar structure that we have in the past, where the morning portion will be whole group, and then in the afternoon, there will be breakout sessions. So know that February 29 is accessible for the whole group time to anybody in the state through the virtual opportunity that we'll have. Jennifer, is the organizational practices event a continuation of the learning from September? The morning portion will be slightly different. We're still solidifying with our speaker which organizational practice we're going to be speaking to. We do know that Dr. Melissa Uziak from Michigan State will be our speaker in the morning. I would guess by the end of next week, we'll have solidified the organizational practice that we'll focus on, and then we'll be able to communicate that out. So Jennifer, it will be slightly different, but if it is a similar organizational practice that Melissa has spoke to earlier, then it'll probably be closer to a repeat than new content. But more to come on that. We'll be sure to communicate it out. You'll notice the instructional rounds on February 12 is almost full. That one is there. We have fact fluency as well. Trish has been working on organizing that. We've had a lot of interest. We've had a couple cohorts, both of those being full, and we're going to open up a couple more opportunities in the spring. So you see the dates there, March 13 and then March 14 and 18. There is an opportunity for a virtual series. So stay tuned for that. The second one there on the March 14 and 18 are virtual. So again, if you're across the state and if Detroit, because I think the face-to-face one is Detroit for that one. If Detroit's too far, know that we have virtual opportunity on March 14 and 18 to learn the content of Dr. Gina Kling's Fact Fluency. And that is a train the trainer. So math coaches from districts, really anybody that facilitates learning for elementary teachers, this is right for you. Hey, Angela, good to see you on. Amber says, is Fact Fluency the same learning we did at Eagle Eye Golf Course? Trish, if you're on and able to respond to that, that would be great. I'm trying to remember if the first cohort was at Eagle Eye or if that was a different site. While Trish is answering that, one last one that I'll speak to is the second one on there. We have a flyer that was just finished yesterday, and registration will be up by the end of the day today. We've developed a leader series to support district leaders and building leaders and thinking about their professional learning systems for adults. So the short of that, and Heather will put the flyer in, we hope to create a space for ISD people to partner with local district leaders and sit together in this space and in this series and learn together in preparation and planning for what their adult learning system will be in the upcoming 24-25 school year. So when you get the flyer, take a look at that. There is, oh yeah, Heather put it in chat. There is some example teams there that might be helpful as you pick. This will be an event that is math and literacy. So Aaron Brown from the literacy team and myself, along with the math team, have been constructing this so that the space is open to math and literacy friends. So take a look at that and reach out. Know that registration will be coming soon. I'll pause for just a second and see if there's any other things that stand out to anyone. We do have a save the date now for the Institute, which will be August 5 through 7. Heather can probably put that in chat if you're interested in seeing that. That will be in Grand Rapids, as we've mentioned on the last few updates. We're really excited about that work. I know Trish and Sonia are working hard on the program, so know that those 3 days or 2.5 days will be really, really good. Okay, we'll move forward. Know that this document exists and reach out if there's any questions. The next thing on our agenda is to talk about the registration site, since we made some changes there. When you normally go to events.gomesa.org, it takes you to this site. And usually, at least for myself, I would click on Early Math Professional Learning. That will take you to the old way that we organized it, which is the long list of all of the events. What we've started to do now is to organize the registration system under events so that we can zero in a little bit when we share links. So what you'll need to do now is once you go to events.gomesa.org, you'll click on the events tab here at the top, which will take you to a page that looks like this. So all of the MAISA events are going to start to be organized like this. So you can obviously see the early math button. You would go ahead and click that. And once you do, you'll get to a space where they are all organized by the type of series or learning that they are. So you'll see if you want to see what is available for adult learning principles coursework that we've had running for a year and a half or so now, you would click that button and it would take you to any of the opportunities that are upcoming for that specific content. If you want to know about the fact fluency that I just mentioned, I think those opportunities are live in the system now. So you would click that and it would show anything that's available for fact fluency. Similar to org practices, the events in Detroit or Wayne County are also live, both face-to-face and the remote. The bottom left, I didn't speak to that in the update, but I think it's an important one. We just had registration go live for that one as well, which is a pre-K Train the Trainer that we're developing now for our pre-K audience. So again, those pre-K educators that support teachers or lead pre-K teachers in professional learning, this would be perfect for you. Dr. Amy Noel Parks from Michigan State has partnered with us with Katie Danks and is developing slide decks, documents, crosswalks, all kinds of stuff for people to support learning for their stakeholders in the essential instructional practices. So know that that one is live as well. Thanks, Heather, for posting that. The last in our update is 23H. Like I mentioned earlier, 23H was released yesterday. We will be spending probably quite a bit of time today looking at it, looking at the language and seeing what we might learn. We did have a little time yesterday to do so, and we'll continue that today. I put a couple bullets below it. The link, Heather, is in the notes if you want to paste that for people so they have easy access if they haven't had an email with the link in it. We know that each of these 4 sections, an ISD has to be a partner. So ISDs are a critical player in all 4 of these opportunities. If you're an ISD employee, I think it's important to connect with your GELN director and talk to them about how they're making sense of each of these 4. We did have a meeting with GELN yesterday, and we started the conversation around what this might look like. So we talked a lot about bucket 1, which is systems development, and we're thinking we might have some ISDs that want to partner on that. We also had a presentation from Diane Owen Rogers and Mike Valier from MySTEM in some of the ways that they're thinking about math recovery. So know that GELN had those 2 pieces it was really quick. So there's more to be done, but they had some conversation around those yesterday. We are working on high quality instructional materials. So know that we're working on a process for that, and also thinking about what resources might be able to be utilized for funding from that bucket 2. One of the things that we're really wondering, and some of you on the call probably are involved in our Essentials in Action Number Corner project, we're wondering if a school who's a part of it with a couple of teachers might be able to utilize number 2 to purchase Number Corner and structure some learning for the full staff if they think the couple of teachers had a positive experience with it this year, and it would be helpful for all kids in the school. So those are some of the things that we're thinking about. Again, we don't have a lot of answers yet. We hope to continue to get some clarity in there. If you are a local district person on the update, I think it's important to connect with, if you have a math connection at the ISD, connect with them and start a conversation. If you don't have a math connection, go to anybody at your ISD that is your normal contact. And if you need help knowing who or what your ISD might be, feel free to reach out. We're happy to help with that. Marianne says, should math consultants join the ECS at the pre-K Train the Trainer? Great question. We would welcome math consultants with open arms. I know all ISDs do it differently. So some, Marianne, maybe you work closely with the ECSs in your ISD and it would make a lot of sense for you to join. Absolutely. Other ISDs might not work as closely. I think the content is specifically designed for early childhood specialists and other audiences that are similar to them in their roles. But math consultants are, of course, invited. Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you there, Marianne. Any other questions on 23H? Again, we'll make more sense. And I think our next update is mid-January, which is crazy to say. So we'll have more clarity there. One important thing maybe to say is it's not due until March 28, which is an eternity almost in the way that these grants normally roll out. So don't feel like you have to have all the answers and work over break for extended days to try to figure this out. There's plenty of time when we come back in 24 to put things together and make sense of it. And we'll just create a space for any additional questions that we might have, whether it connects to the content that we shared today or anything else that might be useful. Dana has a question. Oh, thank you. I don't know that off the top of my head, but I bet Trish does. And she can respond. I'll give her a little time to look at that question and respond, Dana. Any other questions, comments, anything that would be helpful? Thanks, Heather. January 19. Heidi, do you have any opinions on 99U? Off the top of my head, Heidi, am I thinking of 99U correctly and that it's the 6 million for Imagine Learning? Yes, I was. I think our stance on Imagine all along has been, and this is just Rusty talking, not necessarily MAISA or any other hats that I might wear. I think the platform can be helpful in certain ways. I think the way we've always thought about Imagine Learning or other platforms like it is that it doesn't replace Tier 1 instruction, that it could be a great supplement for summer learning. If we want to keep kids connected over summer, it could be a great thing for some kids to work on or all children to work on, in terms of a morning routine. But the big thing is if we have great Tier 1 instruction, great Tier 1 instructional materials, then something like Imagine Learning wouldn't necessarily take the time of Tier 1. Now, obviously that's a pretty strong statement, but at the same time, maybe there's some ways that a school has found to flexibly work it into Tier 1 in a really productive way. I'm not saying I'm writing it in stone, but my normal stance is let's find good instructional materials and good Tier 1 instruction, and platforms like Imagine are great for some of the supplemental things. Any others, or Heidi, feel free to ask another clarifying question if that would be helpful. Yeah, good question. Let me think on that and pull some things together, Heidi, and we can send that out. And everybody else on the call probably has things as well. So specifically with 99U and Imagine Learning, I wonder if we have a response that we can utilize across the state. And I think that brings us to the end. As always, feel free to reach out with any questions, comments. Our next one, as Heather put in chat, is January 19th. So we'll do this again for approximately 15 minutes in a light way. I know that we have a 2-week break coming up for most of us, so I'm grateful for that time. Happy holidays to everybody if you're celebrating. Get some rest, get away from the computer, do something for yourself and your family, and our next update will be in 24. I hope you all have a great day today, a great weekend, and rest of December. Take care. Laura is asking a question. So thanks all. Have a great day. I'll respond to Laura's question here. Thanks, Heidi. You too.